Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to winter sow. I did a film about a week and a half ago, and my computer lost it. So I'm going to try again and show you how to winter sow. Winter sow is just like making a miniature greenhouse and putting it out into the yard and letting it do its thing. So what you're doing is you're protecting your seeds so that they don't wash away and that they're protected from animals and washing away, but they stay out in the elements. So usually I start this around January, February, and this year I'm a little late, so I'm starting in March, but that's okay. You can do it as long as you have cold weather at night, so it doesn't matter how warm it gets during the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one way of preparing a container, and this is just a coffee container. In a coffee container I put holes in, so very important, you have to have drainage on the top and you have to have drainage on the bottom for the water to get out. So I used a soldering gun and sorry about that, and made holes in the bottom, and then I took the top and I put a little hole here, and then I cut the inside of the lid off. So that's going to be the top. I'm going to lay saran wrap underneath it and punch a little holes in there. You need to get light in your container, so this way you can get light in there but it's still protected from the saran wrap. So the first thing I'm going to do is pour a bunch of dirt. Now the rule of thumb is that you need at least 4 inches of dirt, because it will become compact and you want a place for your roots to grow. And this is good for plants that like to be separated or can be separated. Zinnias, I do in separate containers, and then I plant the whole container in the garden because zinnias don't like to be transplanted and they will change colors. So you will plant red ones and end up with purple and pink and yellow. And I don't want to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to spray it with water, get it all wet. Okay, and while that drains, I'm going to show you what I do with other containers. I'll show you one that I did the other day that I lost the videotape for. And this is done in a milk jug. So what you do is you cut the milk jug, you leave the handle, but you cut from here all the way around to the other end, leave the handle on as a hinge. You poke holes with your soldering gun at the bottom for drainage, and then you fill with dirt and put a lot of water in there. Put your seeds in there. I won't show you seeds because, well, here, I can hold you up. You can see. I don't know if you can see in there. There's nothing growing yet because it's not time yet. But you fill it with dirt, a lot of dirt, get it wet, really wet. Put your seeds on there, sprinkle a little dry soil on top, just a thin layer, and then put the top back on and duct tape it. Leave your cap off because you want the rain to get in here and snow and everything like that. And then you put it out in your backyard and on your deck. I would put it on a deck. Don't put it on a table because wind will blow it away. So put it on the ground, and this way pets won't get into it. Squirrels won't bother with the seeds and stuff. So I'm going to go put this back, and I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see that, but this is condensation, and that's kind of what you want to form with a closed container. You want to keep it nice and moist. Now come when it gets warm like it is today, I didn't have to worry about it because my seeds aren't up, but sorry. But when it warms up and you have seedlings, you take off some of the duct tape and let it open and let it breathe. Otherwise you're going to burn your plants. Put that back. And then what you're going to do with the coffee the coffee container, and what you're going to do with your containers. Here I'm going to use little containers I got from Lowe's last year. And you want to label your containers. You cannot label on the side or on the top because it'll fade. Guaranteed your writing will fade. But if you put it on duct tape, which won't come off, and I don't have any old pots here. I was going to show you an old pot that still had duct tape on it from last year. If the duct tape won't come off, but what you have to remember is you don't want to cover any holes, but you have to write the name of the plant on the bottom. And today I'm going to do Bells of Ireland. It's a annual plant I like. There's the Bells of Ireland. I really like it. I like green flowers. So just like you do for these, you're going to do for the milk jugs, and you're going to do labeling the same as the coffee mugs. So I Wintersow in all kinds of different containers. This one is probably the quickest, and it's better to do with plants that don't like to be transplanted, because then all you have to do is pop them out, put them in the ground. So let me get going with this one, which I did not mark. So even I made mistakes. Okay, and I've been doing this for about 10 years, so it does work. I've gotten perennials, annuals. Okay, this one I'm going to do, I'm going to do sunflower, a Moulin Rouge. I'm just going to call it red sunflower, because I only have red and white this year. Okay, and I'm going to put that on the bottom. And believe me, it does not fade. Okay, so these are going to be sunflowers. And I like to put on the date on here when I Wintersow them too. And I also keep a list. I write everything down. I used to keep charts and all that about, when I planted it, when I saw the first, seedling come up and all that. And I just haven't done that. So then I just place them in the soil. They're not all going to come up, so you want to put, extra ones in. And sunflowers are really hardy, so I'm going to put in, I guess about 8 seeds. Okay. Right now I may plant the rest later. Okay. Alright, let me go get my saran wrap. Okay, and if I can find my video from the last time, I will do that too. I gotta sprinkle a little bit of dirt on top. Just a little. Just a little. Okay. And remember, you want to be able to get the sun to it. So when you use milk jugs, You have to be able to, it has to be the clear kind. It cannot be the solid white because sun won't get through it. Okay, and then what I do is I just snap on my lid like that, and then poke a couple holes to get rain in, and that's it. All done. Tighten this up a little bit. There. All right, just put it out here with all the others. Okay, now I did mark one. That's going to be Bells of Ireland. Make sure this is recording. Yeah, it's recording. Okay, I'm going to do a couple Bells of Ireland. And today we had an exceptionally warm day. I think I got up to 70 today. So this is a good day to winter sow. I've also done it indoors when I wanted to do it in December. It was just too cold. But it gets kind of messy, as you can imagine. Okay. Now these are going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have these, I'm going to put these containers inside a basket. Basket already has holes in it. Around Easter time is a good time to get these baskets. You can get them at the dollar store. Nope, that one's already marked. I get a lot of things at the dollar store. These scissors, which aren't very good scissors, but they work. Those came from the dollar store. The baskets came from the dollar store. I've even gotten seeds at the dollar store, but they are pretty limited. And I try to buy seeds for plants that I can't find anywhere else. Like Bells of Ireland. I've never seen Bells of Ireland in a nursery. And they're so easy to grow, it's kind of silly to do that. And these are all Bells of Ireland. And the only thing that you can't winter sow are tropicals. You can do tomatoes, that's what I already have in some of my containers. Peppers. I even winter sowed a hosta. Okay. Alright, one more. And this is just kind of an easy way to do it because you can, you have more of a control of separating your plants. Some plants it doesn't matter. Other plants it does. And be forewarned, your backyard will look like Sanford and Son after a while because you have all these plants in here. Okay. And that's what they look like in the basket. Now, I'm going to fill it up with dirt. And I'll attach some pictures of plants that I've winter sowed before so you can see some progress. And then I'll show you the progress of these too. So, I hope I can get my film back. I got a new computer and they said you could transport your videos or your pictures digitally. And so I started to do that, and then all of a sudden the pictures are not there. They're not on my hard drive. They're not in the new computer. They're just gone. So most of them I have backed up, but it's still a pain. I'm not getting some of my recent pictures or videos. So you want to compact the dirt down, not a whole lot, but you want to get as much dirt in there as you can, because it will settle down, and then your roots won't have any place to go. So I have winter sowed lots of different plants, lots of perennials, you know, butterfly weed, rudbeckia, oh gosh, so many, it's really hard to, larkspur, just all kinds of plants. So I'm really kind of have enough perennials. I just want some annuals and some vegetables for, you know, plants for color. Okay, let's add some water. Okay. While I'm waiting for that to drain, I will do some more. And the first time I winter sowed, believe it or not, I planted, I think it was 148 plants the first year. I got a little bit choosy as the years went by. So, I think this is my 10th or 11th year. I did not winter sow last year. I just never got around to it. But ever since that, I've been dying to do it. And you can actually summer sow too. You just have to be a little bit more careful with watching your seedlings. And for that, I have done, that's what I did with the hosta, and I did it for some perennials. And then you can put the perennials in like a holding bed in the fall, and they're all ready to transplant in the spring into your beds. And they've got that first year behind them, so they'll bloom the first year. About the only plant I probably won't ever winter sow are columbines, because they took 3 years to bloom, and I'm not very patient with that kind of stuff. Okay, so these are going to be cucumbers. A leaf must have blown by. Hey guys. One year I had so many plants that I sold them on Craigslist. Shh! Hey! Stop. Okay, well, this is another way to do it if you don't have enough baskets. And this is what I did in the other. See if you can see. Move you back here. Is to take the containers and tape them together. That way they're easier to move, especially when you need to take them up in water or to transplant or whatever. Now when they start growing seedlings, you have to make sure that they stay moist and they don't dry out and they don't overheat. So in the mornings when it's starting to warm up, you just go outside and you open up your containers, or you unzip them. I'll show you the bags I used. You just get, or you untape the milk jugs. So that they don't burn. It's also easier doing all one plant in a grouping too. It's easier to keep track of them. Okay, so that's this one. And these are all going to be cucumbers. The same kind of cucumbers. So, I have a potting table in my backyard, but my yard is so wet right now. I don't want to walk on the grass, so. After a while you get used to this. It goes much faster, especially when you're not trying to explain it as you go. It is fun, especially when you start seeing the seedlings come up. Now, when you see seedlings come up, and you have one grouping, and you see sprouts coming in on all of them, except for one, maybe two, then you can replant them. Just stick a couple more seeds in there, and water, and hopefully those will come up too. I've done that especially with zinnias, but almost all plants. And you certainly have lots of time to still do that. Okay, I'm going to go set these to water and bring the other ones back. Okay, there are the pots. And these are going to be, those are violet. This is why you are careful with what you are marking, because I could easily forget. Okay. And these seeds are real easy to collect, so once you collect them, once you start growing, you can just collect the seeds. But my seeds were pretty old. I don't think I grew any the year before last, so I just went ahead and bought some. Okay. Mark when Okay. Now for these, I'm going to put them in a plastic bag. This is a plastic bag I got from the dollar store. The little Ziploc under the bed storage. And you just slip this basket into the bag. So I'm going to do that now. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is grab some straws. And I'm going to put these in here so they keep the plastic off of the plant, especially when it, when the seedlings come up. You don't want the plastic to smother. So, stick one there in the middle. And then I put this on inside out. Oh well. And then you zip. And there it is. It's so exciting. Okay, now I'll show you some others that I did over here. Here's my other very faithful dog wanting to play ball. And here I opened them up because it was warm today. And there are the pots in there. Still nice and moist, but no plants yet. Okay. Now these plastic bags, sweater bags, you can get larger ones too, but my dollar store only had the small ones, is you take a scissors, whatever you have, and poke holes in it. Because remember, this is going to be the bottom of the container in the top of the container. So you need to get, water needs to drain, and you need to get water in it. So that's my dog shaking her frisbee. She thinks since we're out here that we're going to play. Okay. But there's all different kinds of ways you can winter sow. If you just want to do containers, like the coffee pot, you can do that. If you can do all milk jugs if you want. I've even done milk jugs with pea pots inside. So instead of putting the dirt in the milk jug, I put the dirt inside pea pots. And then when it was ready to plant, I would just pull out the pea pot and plant. Now the milk jugs are good for plants like poppies, because poppies grow like in a mass, almost like low cut grass. And then when the poppies are really, really small, because they also don't like to be transplanted, then you just cut off a chunk. I can't remember what they called it. Just take a chunk of poppy and plant it in the ground, and you just keep cutting off a small chunk and putting it wherever you want your poppies. And if you do that when they're really, really tiny, then you won't have any problems with them. Okay. Okay, these are my cucumbers. I've already planted a couple types of tomatoes and red peppers. So now I'm going to do cucumbers, and hopefully my dogs like to eat my plants. So when we put a fence around our garden, but not to keep the rabbits, but to keep, because the rabbits end up getting in there anyway, but to keep my dogs out of, especially Scout. She likes to eat my plants. She ate my cucumber plant last year, so I didn't have any cucumbers. She actually went on the other side of the fence and pulled the leaves through until the plant came out. She ate one of my cantaloupes because the vine grew outside the fence, and when the plant was ripe enough for her taste, she ate it. So that's what I do. And I can't keep my seedlings here, especially lettuce, on the porch because they're enclosed in this porch. So if I put the plants on the bottom, then she eats the plants, and then I don't have any. She eats the lettuce. broccoli, lettuce, anything like that. I belong to a garden club and we have a big sale in the spring, so I usually donate my extra plants. And one year I was going to plant give them a whole tray of lettuce and broccoli, and she ate them all. Before that morning, actually, she ate them. So, okay, so for this one, you just put the whole, let's put the straws in first. Should actually put the straws in before I put the seed in, but it don't matter. And I know the straws look really funny, but that's the way it is. I also have used plastic knives, and those work well because then you can take your knife out, and when you plant your plant, you just stick the knife in there and the plastic knife to mark where your plant is. And what I do is on the knife or the spoon or whatever you want to use, you write the name of the plant that's going to go below the surface. Because once again, the sun will fade it, but it won't fade it if it's under the ground. And it won't wash off either, because you use permanent marker. So, hopefully this will fit. And there you go. Oh, can I do this one backwards too? No, okay. My old ones. We're supposed to get a lot of rain, I think, tomorrow, tonight. Okay, so that is winter sowing. And you can tell when to water these. You can look in the inside to see if it's still damp, or I can tell by the weight. So if they're getting kind of lightweight, then they need to have some water put in them. And I think they're going to be okay until tomorrow. If they don't get any rain tomorrow, I'll sprinkle. And I use a mister on my hose and just kind of stick it in there and let the water run around a little bit. You don't want to disturb the seeds. Anyway, I'll be back to show you progress. Thanks!